light sucks.
What do you mean? You can see everything.
Blinding.
I should take my glasses off. Oh, man. Okay, so, which one are we doing first? We doing the movie both of us saw, or the one that I just saw?
Well, are we do...
Or not the one that I literally just saw, the one that I just saw on my own, by myself.
You said sorry to bother you first, but it's up to you.
Yeah, sure, we'll do Sorry to Bother You first. We saw that earlier today. We'll talk about Equalizer 2 in the next video. So, okay, Sorry to Bother You is, first of all, it's a whole lot of... Wow.
It's bizarre.
So, anyway, Sorry to Bother You is a movie in which Lakeith Stanfield... Let me check this a little. It's kind of casting a big shadow, right? Lakeith Stanfield plays a dude, down on his luck guy, needs a job, lives with his uncle, who was Terry Crews, lives in the garage, he's got a girlfriend, they hang out in the garage and everything, and he owes his uncle a bunch of money, and his uncle himself is in a lot of debt and kind of needs a lot of this rent money from Lakeith Stanfield. And so he ends up taking a job as a telemarketer. And when he's at this job, being a telemarketer, he finds out, like, if you are good enough, if you sell enough, you can go on, like, the top floor where you're just a power seller. You are a fucking power seller. They don't know what they sell yet because they're just, like, on the bottom floor. They don't know what they sell, but they know that one of the, like, the big head honcho of, like, all this company, this big, like, tech genius, businessman genius and everything, is this eccentric billionaire played by Armie Hammer. And so it's kind of him not only working his way up in the ranks at this telemarketing firm, but also the different ways that he has to go about doing it. One of which being, like, having your white voice when you're talking on the phone, and you're having your, like, white guy voice. And in this movie, there's a lot of that in this film, and that's kind of how they get ahead at this firm. And when they do it, it's, like, dubbed by somebody else. Like, it's
David Cross,
Steve Buscemi, Patton Oswalt.
Yeah.
This movie is insane. Like, okay, you've seen the trailer for this film. When you see the trailer for this movie, you really just get an idea of maybe the first half hour of this film.
Yeah. I saw the trailer a couple of times.
Same.
And I just thought it was like a normal movie.
No. Well.
I just thought it was just about this, like, a normal, like, story about this guy who's trying to work his way up and his,
Well, kind of is.
It is in the first 30, 45 minutes. And then it just takes a weird turn.
Oh, well,
out of nowhere.
That's putting it lightly. This movie is just pure fucking insanity in the last act of this film. So much, I'm sitting there watching this film like, this is a movie that is just designed to have an F on CinemaScore. They're like, fucking bring it, CinemaScore. I honestly don't know what it has. It probably, I feel if this movie had an F, it'd probably make news.
7.5 or something.
No, I don't mean on, like, IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes. I mean CinemaScore. The same thing that gave Mother an F. I've not seen such a hard turn that will really be a key ingredient on whether you like this movie or not. I haven't seen such a hard turn like that since, like, The Frogs and Magnolia.
It took, the more surreal it got, the more I liked it.
Yeah.
Because I was really tired today. So it's not that the movie was bad at the first, like, 30, 45 minutes. I was just really tired.
Sometimes you're just tired. No, I get it.
Yeah, and I was just tired. So I was kind of like, my eyes were getting a little heavy, but it was still good and really funny.
Yeah.
It was just like, the more surreal it got, I was like, huh. It reminded me a little bit of, like, a Charlie Kaufman movie, but less pretentious, I guess. I do like Charlie Kaufman, like, movies. I know you don't like Being John Malkovich.
Oh, no, that movie, when I first saw it years and years ago, not really, but I saw it not long after that, and I warmed up to it a little bit more. There's that whole thing in the Snob movie where, like, it's that, but that's not really me, necessarily.
But it is a little pretentious. This one has, like, kind of a deeper meaning to it, where it was like, it's not just being weird for the sake of being weird. It is sometimes, but there's a lot of, like, commentary, I guess, on, like, capitalism, income inequality sometimes.
Well, this movie didn't remind me of a Charlie Kaufman movie. What this movie reminded, but I mean, I can see what you're saying. Like, but what this movie reminded me of was like one of those batshit comedies that like Spike Lee would do. Mm-hmm. Something like Girl 6 or She Hate Me or Bamboozled or something like that. This movie is like taking one of those like crazy ass indie comedies from like the 90s indie movie boom, particularly some of the Spike Lee's entries into that, and giving it like just an extra line of blow like Armie Hammer does in this movie, which is like one of the biggest lines of fucking blow that I've seen done in a movie. That's what Armie Hammer's doing in this film.
It's also a really pretty movie. It's very stylish. It, like, especially the girl, her hair constantly changes color. His girlfriend.
Yeah.
She has cool earrings. She wears cool outfits.
She's an artist.
She's an artist.
And
the music was really cool too. It's a good looking movie and it sounds good too. So it's like it is very stylish.
The movie, it is. It does a lot of cool stuff with its editing. Like when he is making these telemarketing calls, the building starts trembling and he transplants right in front of the person in their living room. So for stylistic purposes, he's like sitting there at his desk right in front of them talking as they're talking to him on the phone. Even the world that this movie is taking place in,
it's like a whole different universe.
Yeah, because it's not like it's taking place like in the future or a near future. It's like it's in the present, but an alternate universe of the present. Mm-hmm. It almost like between really showing what a lot of people in this society are into, from just kind of taking whatever product is given to them to the point to where the products don't really have names. Like just drinking a can of something that's just called soda. Or a sign company where she's got a job where she's twirling the sign in front of the business, and it's just a sign that says sign.
And then there's the... what was it? Stress-free living.
Oh, okay, yeah. And it's also showing, there's a lot of commercials in this film, be it for television series, which are literally just called Beat the Shit Out of Me, or something like that, where that's what it is.
I got the shit kicked out of me.
I got the shit kicked out of me, and it's the #1 show, and people are just watching people just getting the shit kicked out of them. Or there's this, it's prison. They're advertising prison, but they're advertising it in a way that like your life is kind of so shitty that what is clearly prison living is shown to be really enticing. Like you're given 3 meals a day and you're clothed, and it's advertising slave labor. And the movie has a lot of commentary about things like that, like either
social media.
Yes, using social media to talk about like slave labor and prison labor as well. But also, I'm not going to give anything away about this movie. I'm not going to give away what happens in the last act. But what I will say is a lot of what is said about this movie is being said in this movie feels like it's showing that somebody can have enough power and enough, like a good enough way of talking, and people can just sort of be content with just minimal shit that they have, to the point to where you can really sell a lot of things that are against their better, what's the term I'm looking for? That are against their own well-being, that are not good for the economy, not good for workers, not good for their health or anything like that. you can sell a lot of that stuff to people, but you're doing it in such a way to where they think it's appealing. They are totally buying into a lot of things that are being sold to them, even though it's going to harm them financially and between their own living and between the economy as well. It's just against their better judgment, against their own well-being, and just simply not knowing any better. And it does it in a way in the last half hour of this movie that is fucking crazy.
It's like the last hour, I want to say. I don't even know if I want to give it away.
No, I'm not going to give it away,
Yeah,
because you got to see this shit.
I was so not expecting what that...
No one would.
It was kind of scary, too.
It actually does kind of get a little suspenseful in this part.
Yeah, like it kind of in the beginning is just a comedy, and then it gets into this sci-fi... Well, it's kind of a sci-fi comedy throughout, but then it gets into like sci-fi...
Yeah.
I want to say horror comedy, but I guess a thriller.
I will say this, I wasn't expecting, like, to use the term, I really appreciate the practical effects. I wasn't prepared to use that term in a movie like this.
Yeah, you have to see it. Like, I want to say it so badly, but it's like, you have to go in blind, because when it happens, you're like, the fuck?
And it helps, too, having a character like, an actor like Lakeith Stanfield, who is realistically... who is having a very realistic reaction to this happening.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something to where it's like, oh, it's kind of in this alternate universe, so everyone's just, so our lead character is really kind of accepting this. Like, no, like, he is having a genuine reaction, how somebody most likely would to have this shown to them. It almost feels like the society in this movie, between the television series and how the public is kind of eating up a lot of stuff in this, it almost feels like this movie, that this universe is sort of in the same universe and leading up to the events of The Running Man.
Yeah. It's like, it reminds me a lot of like one of those, it's the video we did Running Man in, and I was like, I don't see a lot of like dystopian future movies that are not YA movies. This is one that I don't know, would you say it's a dystopian movie?
No, because...
But it's close.
Because this movie, like we said, it's like, it feels like it's in the present, just sort of an alternate universe of present-day America.
But it's close enough where I would say, like, well, I appreciate that there's this weird alternate universe that is... for adults, not for kids.
I mean, this movie, this movie has a lot of really cool random shit in it. Like, there's a part where there's a part where his artist girlfriend is doing a performance to and incorporating elements of Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon.
Is that where I didn't know what?
You haven't seen The Last Dragon?
No. Well, there's the scene where she just says like, okay, so I'm gonna be reciting something.
The Last Dragon.
The Last Dragon, and she's in like this really cool like Lady Gaga outfit with the gloves.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Around her breasts and her vagina. And she just is like, I'm gonna be reciting The Last Dragon while you guys throw shit at me. I was like, what?
Oh, but the literal shit comes into it later when he gets dunked in feces.
He's like, can I show my video clip now?
Yeah, he needs to show a video clip on television, but he has to go through all this, like, humiliation first. Like going through all this degrading, humiliating shit just to get to, like, one, like, real piece of news. Again, that in itself is kind of providing a little news commentary right there, and entertainment commentary. I really like this movie. I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was
super original.
Yeah, boy, is it ever.
Yeah.
It is that. It's well acted. It's well edited. The pacing is good. It is a funny movie too. It's very, very, very funny. Like, this guy is trying to like uncover a lot of shit that's going on, but what people are focusing on is the fact that he was inadvertently the star of a viral video in which he gets hit in the head with a can.
Yeah.
Like, this is a very original, smart, provocative film. And it's going to be one that's maybe a little polarizing because of a lot of stuff that happens in it.
Audiences are not going to like this movie.
That's what I mean when I say, like, this movie is just designed to get, like, a D or an F on Cinema Score. I don't know what it has. Maybe it's doing fine on there. I have no idea, but...
No, there's people in the theater that were like, the fuck did I just watch? Which I understand. Like, if you don't like weird stuff or, like, art house movies...
We should have taken your mom to go see this.
Well, there is, like, you do see penises in this. She's not gonna want to watch that.
My mom probably would have dug it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, she would like this.
What about your dad?
He would hate this movie. Holy shit. Yeah, my dad would not like this movie. He would not like this movie at all.
My mom likes weird stuff, but this was, like, surreal, bizarre. Everyone's kind of a cartoon character.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you know, just the way they dress, the way they talk and act sometimes is cartoony. Not the main character. I would...
No,
like,
because he's the straight man of the movie.
the girlfriend.
A little. I mean, not...
She is. I would
Yeah, but
say.
not in any kind of unrealistic sense, I thought.
Yeah, I guess she's like an artist, but...
Yeah, she just seemed just eccentric. I didn't think she felt like someone who wouldn't exist
Well, they do
in
things
this
like, you know, with the
universe.
sign, and she, like, has these, like, cartoony moments where she has the sign that just says sign, and she's twirling
Yeah,
it
but I
around.
mean, I see people who that is their job, where they're twirling those signs.
But it just says sign on
Oh,
it. Is what I
oh,
meant.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that I take is more like kind of a commentary on that business and businesses in general in this movie, more so than I do her as a character.
It wasn't, like, a bad thing. I just thought she was just this really eccentric character. That's
Sure.
But, yeah, there's a lot of editing choices that they use. Like, I don't know if you remember this part, but he's talking, I think he's being interviewed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, like, fast-paced in the background.
That
Like,
I didn't notice.
Oh, I did. Like, everything is, like, going in, like sped up in the background,
Yeah.
but everything is normal, like, when he's being interviewed.
Oh,
Everything in the
wow.
background's, like, moving really fast, and it's just like, why?
Yeah.
But it looks cool.
No, it's a cool looking movie.
Yeah.
I dug it. Yeah. It's like this weird cross between, again, like I said, like just a crazy ass indie 90s comedy and like Orson Welles' The Trial. No, I really recommend this movie.
If you
I
like
dug
weird
it.
stuff,
Oh, yeah.
if you don't, like, would you consider this an art house movie?
I mean, I don't know. Like, what really is...
What is art?
I mean, I don't mean that. I just mean, like...
Art is subjective.
Art's a construct.
Where did this come from? If you don't like art house movies or weird stuff, you won't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess, like... I mean, it's the kind of movie that's going to be playing at your indie movie theater, most likely, because it was here at ours. We saw it over at Parkway on my least favorite screen in Springfield, Theater 4, which they have fixed the sound in there, but, like, those seats are so goddamn uncomfortable in there.
yeah, it's a weird movie, and I would definitely just check it out just for the twist that they have. Or I don't know if it's a twist, but just
Kinda.
the weird turn that it takes
Mm-hmm.
is totally worth this for like a full price
Yeah, man.
theatrical experience. Just to see everyone else's reaction too.
What the fuck?
It's just so bizarre and
Yeah.
surreal, and it's just it's one of my kind of movies I would be into. You even said that. You're like, oh,
I mean-
you look like you would like this. And I was like,
And that was just going by the trailer. I was like, this seems like a movie you'll really, really like. And for myself, too, because I really like the trailer as well. So, no, I recommend it.
yeah, me too.
All right. So I should hit pause on here, and we'll talk about The Equalizer, which does not end like this movie did. See ya.
Bye.